I'm here at Smoke on the Water Weston with Larry, the general manager. We're going to talk about this place. This amazing bar you have here. So you've been the general manager here since 2019. How did you meet Daniel and get started here?
Well, I've been in the cigar industry for about 7 years now, 8 years, and just being a regular patron. And it's literally just hanging out here and enjoying the atmosphere. And it was just, one day he just asked me if he wanted a career change. And for the longest time, I said no, because I knew what would come about. Like dealing with consumers is totally different than dealing with the companies. Then it turns out one day I was just like, it's time for a change. The way that Daniel operates, and he's got the heart of gold. He really wants to have people that he really trusts and believe in. It takes a while for him to warm up to certain people.
Yeah, so, I can see that.
Yeah, so I think I've gotten there. I don't know yet, but it's been a hell of a journey. It's been a hell of a ride. We continue to we're looking to do big things now. Moving forward here.
Like what?
Expanding our VIP area, our membership. The area you'll see here, through some filming here, the back bar, having a full bar here right now, VIP area, doing different things like, monthly supper clubs, different like vintners clubs tasting, basically trying to, encapsulate all of our customers, not just men, where there's a lot more women smokers we have now, a lot more couples we've had come out, trying to cater to all the customers. That's been a monster this past year, really, the growth and the boom of the women in the cigar industry.
It's kind of like the second boom of the cigar industry, right?
Absolutely.
Same population, just doubling.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. What did you do before you started managing here?
I've had a wholesale company prior to.
What'd you sell?
Different like office products, office supplies, as well as working for Quality Importers, Cigar, a wholesaler of cigar accessories. So that's what really got me into the business.
From going from that side, from business to business pretty much, to business to consumer, what's been the biggest change for you?
For me, it's basically the daily interaction of the consumer, and it's the retention. A lot of times when you deal with wholesale products, is those people, there really is no option a lot of times for you to pick up a cigar card. There's very few options, rather. You have the big brands like Colibri, ST DuPont, Zycar, stuff like that. Now Visol. You have a few options. When it comes to establishment, like going to a cigar lounge or a bar, there's hundreds of them. And in South Florida alone, I can tell you there's a few dozen down here. We happen to be the westernmost here in Broward County. One of the largest, if not the largest down here. So we know there's other options. Yeah. There's other options for you guys to enjoy your cigar, your drink, wherever else. We like to be the best. We strive to be the best.
I was on the fence if you guys were like the biggest cigar bar in Broward County. And then I found out you have this massive VIP room back here that I've been coming here for 5 years. I had no idea this was here.
Yeah.
So you are definitely like hands down the biggest, cigar bar in Broward. For sure.
And that's the thing. A lot of people there's a mystique behind this back room here, the member area. People always see people shuttling back and forth. What's going on back there? Is there some sitting compartment back there? Stuff like that. The answer is yes. It's really right now it's underutilized. We're looking to change that here in 2022.
Yeah, I thought it was a second bathroom.
No.
I saw people like just walking by and disappearing, and then maybe they walk out a little bit later.
Yeah, and for customers that have been here before, it's the exact same size as what's up front.
Yeah,
it's just it's just more seating area, more it's a chiller vibe back here. It's not as loud as it would be up front.
Yeah.
The music and stuff.
I think this is more of a truer sense of the VIP. Like you come in and you get the privacy you want. Where other people, they have like the VIPs where you can see the people that you can't be a part of,
Right.
It's like the nightclub VIP.
Right.
I'm not as good as them, but this is like a true VIP.
Yeah, and that's what we want to give. We want to give a different experience rather than other places, We like to think we're the best, so. Since
you started managing here, has there been anything that you've seen in other cigar bars around the world that you brought here?
There really hasn't, we really haven't had to change anything here, quite honestly. It's just basically trying to, how do we grab new clientele? And what has happened, like I said, we brought more couples in here, a lot more younger people in here, a lot of millennials in here with money, that want to check out or start smoking cigars. For the most part, every cigar shop and every lounge bar has to have its own character. You really can't duplicate one from another place.
I know Daniel started in Mississippi. He had 3 bars, and they got wiped out by Katrina. And then he came here. Do you know if there's anything that he learned from those bars that he was like, I'm going to do it differently in Weston?
Well, there's cigar shops over there. One bar over there.
Okay. So he added liquor.
Yeah. This, quite honestly, this is his first, bar endeavor. It's 12 years old. It's been since 2009. He's been selling cigars for 20 plus years. Yeah. And he knows tobacco. He knows everybody in the industry. So that's a testament to the the room and the offering we have, the relationships he's forged to help have this be successful. Liquor was just an add-on. So this is his first bar.
I have to say, for being his first bar, he really nailed it. Like your Scotch in whiskey and bourbon selection is deep. It's very deep.
Yeah.
How do you go about choosing? Like,
honestly, that's part of my job is to help him select all the alcohols here. We do have an extensive Scotch selection, and not as big as some other places, but we want to be able to serve what the consumers want. It doesn't really help us out if we have that $20,000 bottle on the shelf that no one's ever going to order. Is it nice to have on the shelf? Absolutely. Yeah. But is it really going to sell? Is that really going to move the needle? No, it's not. To say you have something, that's great. Yeah. But for us, we really want to cater to everybody out there. We do that a lot with tequila right now. Tequila's hot right now. Tequila's ridiculous. In regards to everybody going after tequila. Tequila is what Scotch was, I'll say, 5 years ago.
Yeah, so I've definitely been seeing a lot of people pairing their tequilas with like Don Julios and stuff. But yeah, that's definitely a growing segment. Yeah,
it's amazing for us. It's our fastest growing one in the liquor department.
So your bar is deep. Your humidor is really deep. Like you guys have a massive humidor.
Yeah.
Is that why you guys get some of the rarer cigars?
So yeah, like I said, Daniel has forged great relationships for 25 years now in the tobacco business where, he will never pass an opportunity to bring something in. Like take, for example, last year. No one had either the ability or the money to really make stuff happen. He never batted an eye. He always brought everything in. If they needed help, he was the guy to help. And that's one of the things too, that was helpful for us is he'll never turn down the opportunity to bring in that special box of Opus or, that special allocation of, LFD. We'll always bring that in. We'll always offer to the customers. We'll always have a place. We'll always have a home and, a conduit to sell that. So it's never been an issue for us. Yeah. For the rare stuff, he likes to keep stuff. If he brings in 10 boxes, he'll keep 2. He'll forget about it for 2 years. Then he'll dig up through his stuff and like, oh my God, I have this stuff. Then all of a sudden it'll show up.
We'll have to talk about that.
Like our extra Añejo collection, Fuente, it's pretty amazing actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
What are some of the rarest things he's got in there?
The 77 Shark is amazing. The 55, the 888 Extra Añejo is amazing too. Like, there's a lot of cigars here that, there's too many more that I could.
Do you have those in your humidor currently? Wow, that's impressive.
They're in there.
As me and my business partner, we love the Don Pepin Garcias. You guys have those, the anniversary editions. You guys are deep. You roll deep.
Oh yeah, we have a lot. We're not that deep in accessories now.
You don't have the room for them.
We don't have the room for them.
It's all cigars.
And that's where we do keep some of the rare stuff or hard to get stuff. We'll carry some of, the Liga Privada stuff that's hard to get right now. It's all on allocation. The rare pinks, like you mentioned. There's rare black Opus X back there. There's Forbiddens. There's Lost Cities. There's stuff that you don't see. If you ask for it, chances are we probably have it. He really prides himself in that. Is it gonna be marked up a little bit more? Absolutely, but it really gives everybody the opportunity to buy something. Whereas if something were, sell a regular cigar, like a rare pink for regular retail, that thing will disappear tomorrow. Now we do, move up the price a little bit, but that also gives you the opportunity to buy something you would never get before.
Yeah.
It's a lot of supply and demand there.
No, it's worth the price for sure.
Yeah.
We're no strangers to buying some of those. We don't even bat an eye when we see something we want.
For sure.
Price doesn't matter.
That's that. If you really want it, the true tobacconist aficionados out there, if they really want it, they're gonna get it.
What would you recommend to like a newer smoker that's just getting started? Their first cigar.
What I do in the humidor, if and when I'm in the humidor, is I'll ask them a couple questions. One, if they smoke cigarettes. That's the answer. I could check that off in my head. Okay, I'm gonna gear it toward this way. Other one, quite honestly, is if they smoke weed. Maybe it's a question you have to ask today, and chances are 70% of people are say, yeah, I do. It's like, okay, I'm gonna gear you this way. I will never start anybody off with, the mythical, hey, it's a Connecticut cigar. This is your first cigar. You should try that, because more often than not, if they've never lit a cigar before, they're gonna burn the outside of the wrapper, a Connecticut wrapper, which is very delicate. And if you burn that wrapper, you're smoking charcoal already. Doesn't matter. A lot of cigars out there, depending on the size, what people don't realize too is, depending on the size of the cigar, that really determines the strength. So it really isn't fair for me to give you a Connecticut, like a Corona Gorda size. Let's say, for example, like the Foundation 20, which is a very strong cigar for Connecticut. People get confused with, light and dark. I can show you some of the darkest cigars in there are very mild. I can show you some light cigars in there are very strong. So for me, I like to gear people towards more medium cigars. After those series of questions, do you smoke marijuana? Do you smoke cigarettes? What are you drinking? And then in there, I really like to try to pair our tobacconists really try to pair what you're drinking with what you want to smoke. It's gonna be an enhancement of both. So there's no, I don't believe in such a thing where the lightest cigar possible, you want to give that guy that cigar. No.
Right.
Because what happens if if it smokes bad, or if it's plugged, or he smokes it way too hot, he hot boxes it, and all of a sudden there's too much tar buildup, the cigar's gonna taste like shit. He's got a bad experience. I'd rather give him a cigar that has some flavor to it. He's gonna, inherently think, oh, it's a really strong cigar. Let me smoke it slower than usual. All of a sudden he's really savoring the cigar. Mm-hmm. He's enjoying, I don't know what you're drinking there, but
I have a Lafroig here.
Lafroig, okay, 10. So yeah, if you want something like that, it's like, okay, it's really peaty. Like if he smokes it too fast, he's gonna, he's gonna ruin the experience of that drink. That's what we like to do here.
Just recently, I had a Rocky Patel 60th anniversary, and I really liked it. And I had the larger size. I can't remember the exact size, and I really liked it. And one of the guys on Instagram was like, "Hey, try the Robusto. It's way better. The flavor profile is better." And I tried it, and I didn't like it. So the size of the cigar changes the flavor profile a lot too.
Absolutely, yeah. Could be the same blend, different sizes change the profile of everything. Yeah, that's what they'll really tell you. That's why my favorite ring gauge is 48 and below. Corona Gorda size is my favorite size. Anything bigger, it's like, I kind of get lost in the shuffle. But I really like the taste of tobacco out of the cigar.
Yeah. Let me ask you, with you've been in cigars for a long time and in an industry a long time. What would you say the biggest changes are happening right now, besides women in cigars?
It's inventory. It's, with COVID happening all of last year, if you dealt with anything ATF, alcohol, tobacco, firearms, that shit all through the roof. Everybody's got guns. Everybody wants a gun. Everybody has to have their alcohol. Everybody has to have their booze. That's the three biggest growth segments in the economy. That's the biggest thing. You have more smokers. You have people that really came in here during COVID, bought that box of cigars thinking that would last them, a month, and then turns out, oh, they're back. I say, I'll see you back in a week and a half. Like, no, like I only buy 1 or 2 cigars a week. I'm like, I got you. You're sitting at home, you're bored, you're not doing anything. That's what you're gonna do. Yeah, you're gonna smoke that box of cigars. I'll see you in a week and a half. Last year you couldn't do anything. Sit outside your patio. I mean, what better thing to do than smoke a cigar? How
did COVID affect you? Like you said, you took advantage of the buying options. But how else did it affect you guys?
So for COVID, for us, we were shut down for a few months. Our bar area, because if you're in the bar business, restaurant business, your business is social. When we tell you to social distance, there goes your business.
Yeah.
So with tobacco, and we have a retail channel here with our cigar shop, we were essential in that regard. So people could come in, buy cigars, leave accordingly. That was no different than a grocery store. So we weren't closed entirely, but our bar business, which is a big part of our business, that really helped. That really hurt for a few months there.
Yeah. I was actually reading before coming in some of your reviews online on TripAdvisor and Yelp and Google. And I see a lot of people actually come here and they don't even smoke cigars. They just come here for a drink because you have this beautiful lake, this atmosphere. Do you see a lot of that coming in?
No, we do. We definitely see a lot of people that don't even smoke cigars. Absolutely. So for the most, we are the only bar in Broward. Excuse me, Weston.
Yes.
Weston. I misspoke there. Weston. So that's what that's our luxury. We're in a pretty affluent neighborhood here, where people, if they go out east, they come home out west. They want a nnightcap, that's going to come here.
Yeah, it's very affluent here. Yeah. A lot of celebrities that say they live in Miami really live here in Broward and Weston.
And that's the thing, yeah. When people say Miami, you're talking about Fort Lauderdale, some parts of West Palm Beach, stuff like that. So, we do get a good bit of celebrities coming in here. But, at the same time, we like anonymity. We don't really advertise anything that, hey, this person's here, that person's here. Because we like people just to come in and hang out.
I noticed.
They're no different to me. That person, that celebrity is no different to me than the guy that's coming in off the street.
Can you name a few? Or is that?
We get a couple Hall of Famers from the NFL coming in here. A couple players from the NBA. I don't like to name names, quite honestly. Like I said, we love the anonymity about the stuff. A few actors coming in here. So, and I also handle the social media. I don't ever post any of those guys online. And we don't feel like we need to.
No, you don't.
And those guys, they really come up to me and say, hey, Larry, thank you for not doing that. Because I'm like Jason, everybody knows Jason Taylor. He comes here all the time. I don't post him. Enough his foundation post. We just did a chili event with him. We don't make it a big deal because he's no different than, me or you, quite honestly.
Yeah.
He's just a regular guy.
I heard that your chili event was a pretty big success. Like,
No, yeah.
we had to postpone this interview because you lost your voice.
I did. I lost my voice. I'm just getting it back a little bit here, but yeah, I did lose my voice. It was a really good event for a great cause. We'd really like to do a lot for his charity.
Yeah, you guys do a lot of events here.
A lot of cigar events. We are changing things actually, because that is one thing I'm seeing in the change in the dynamic in regards to events. With a lot of these manufacturers out there, especially like a lot of European companies, they're not allowed to do in-person events. So, we've had to adapt that way. We want to make sure it's successful not only for the bar, but for the vendor as well.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
When did you first start smoking cigars, and what did you start with?
Oh, I love telling the story. So it was a little over 20 years ago. And coincidentally, it's, Drew Estate, the Acid 20th. My first real cigar that I bought on my own when I had money in my pocket, after college, all that good stuff, was an Acid Cuba Cuba. That's what really got me smoking cigars. And that is one cigar I would tell people to smoke. If they don't smoke cigarettes, if they're gonna drink beer, they smoke marijuana, they're gonna love the Cuba Cuba. It's got that, the botanical, type taste to it, those certain oils. And it's a nice mild cigar, quite honestly. Back in the day, like I said, 20 plus years ago, I had $5 in my pocket, that's what I could afford. Then you start working a little bit, you got $10 in your pocket, oh, okay, Liga Privada came out, then you graduate into that. That's the one thing that Drew Estate's really done a really, really good job with, is grabbing their consumer base from the very beginning of what, their launch until today. I'm sure you mentioned like the Year of the Rat, and a lot of the specialty cigars, the L40, the UF13, a lot of the cigars, amazing cigars that you graduate into that cigar. They've done a really, really good job of keeping their customer base from, like I said, 20 plus years ago till today. Very strong. And it's really evident because, some of the guys that have branched off from Drew Estate, for example, like Nick Melillo from Foundation, those same guys that would smoke Drew Estate cigars, smoke their cigars as well. The same thing with Steve Sock.
You better smoke your own cigars.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing with Steve Sock, he's part of Drew Estate again. A lot of those followers really branch out into other guys, and that's the best part about the cigar community is, it's very tight knit, it's very close. Everybody knows everybody. And, for the most part, everybody makes a good cigar.
Yeah.
There really isn't a bad cigar out there.
No, there really isn't. And, when I first started smoking was about 15 years ago. I picked up my first cigar, but back then, Acid advertised in every magazine, not just tobacco magazines. Like, you picked up any magazine and they had an Acid.
Well, that's when you could. You can't do that anymore, but yeah, that's when you could, right.
I actually started with a Cuban. There used to be a cigar place in Beach Place. We were like, hey, do you have real Cubans? And the guy's like, oh yeah. And he took us to like a back room and opened a drawer. He's like, I can't sell these to most people. But he's like, I was underage. He's like, I know if I sell it to you, you're not telling anyone.
Exactly.
But
no, see, that's part of the deal too, is, my age, I'm 45. Cigar smoking back then when I was, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, it's what old people did. It's what my dad did, my grandfather did. People with money did that. It's a very affluent thing to do. Now it's all over the board. Like I said, you could have $5 in your pocket, you have $5,000 in your pocket. You can smoke anything.
Yeah, my grandfather smoked, he'd always buy a bundle from the gas station in Chicago. And my mom always said he'd come home and smoke would be pluming out of his police car every time they dropped him off.
That's it.
What would you like to tell anyone that's considering like coming down to South Florida and checking out Smoke on the Water?
Our vibe is different than any other vibe. We're a bar with a large humidor. So we're one of the, that's where I think our cigar bar differentiates from most. Huge outdoor patio as well. There's 6,000 square feet out there. 6,000 square feet inside. Majority of the patio is covered. For somebody who wants to check it out, you don't have to be a smoker like we talked about earlier. You can enjoy the lake view that we have out there as well. And just like I said, the atmosphere. It's a non-threatening atmosphere. There's nothing, there's nothing stuffy about our place. If you really walk in, it feels like a neighborhood bar.
Actually, that leads me to a great story. When Daniel first came here, Weston didn't want to open the doors to a cigar bar in their neighborhood. How did Daniel get his foot in the door opening this place?
He had a lot of friends in the cigar industry that live in Weston that really, really helped him out. And they didn't, that was back then. You gotta remember that 12 years ago where it's like smoking's bad and, say no to tobacco. Tobacco-free Florida was big at that time.
Huge.
It really is no harm to the community, no harm to anything like that. If anything, obviously it adds tax revenue to the community.
Yeah, and actually, as a cigar smoker, I think it brings it up because smoking cigars is seen as something very classy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and that's what it is. Like I said, we don't turn away anybody. We welcome everybody that basically comes in this place. Again, that's one of the things is we like to consider ourselves a welcoming environment.
I did read in Cigar Aficionado from when you guys had your grand opening the first year that Alec Bradley actually had a big part in talking to the city and allowing this place to open.
I was going to mention Alan Rubin. Yeah, he was very pivotal for that because he knew a lot of the city commissioners and the mayor at the time and really went to bat for Daniel and Smoke on the Water. It really helped get this place to work. Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So,
loyalty goes a long way for Daniel. 100%.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Just meeting me for the first time, he wasn't the most forthcoming.
No.
But he came back out and, it seemed like he like cooled down a little. He's like, hey, and then he was very pleasant. And it seems like he's got his guard up. But once you get to know him, he's like one of those guys that'll give you his shirt off his back.
Absolutely, he would. Absolutely, 100%. He'd do that for anybody. All his employees, everybody. It's like he really treats this place like a family. All his employees, and even the patrons that come in here.
Yeah. Your service here is absolutely amazing.
I appreciate that.
How do you find the people that work here, and how do you keep them? Because right now, keeping people.
That's the $1 million question everybody asks. If I had that answer, I'd be really, really rich. So everybody would come and ask me. Like I said, it's really the family. It's really the family environment he's really built here for 12 years. One of the girls we have has been here for 10 years. She's so dedicated, she has a tattoo on her wrist.
Smoke on the water.
So crazy, she has smoke our logo on the wrist. Yeah, wow. Absolutely, yeah.
That's a big chunk of your life.
Our regulars that'll come in here, from 10 years ago till today, they'll see familiar faces. That's what always makes it nice as well.
Yeah, and especially right now, like nobody was staying loyal to any companies because of COVID. They all left. They all either left the workforce or they just went to other places where they can make more money somehow.
See, that's one thing that Daniel did do is during the shutdown, he never stopped paying the employees.
And he was telling me he actually returned a lot of the PPP money.
He did. Use it. Yeah, he didn't even use it. He's like, he's that guy.
Yeah.
So everybody else is like, oh, let's do this. No, he like I said, he invested in his employees. That's probably his number one investment, other than cigars and whatever else like that. So
that is your best event. That is,
for any establishment, it's everybody has the same liquor, everybody has the same cigar. That's not Colonel Secret Recipe. It's the people. It's really the staff that's here that really makes a place.
Let me ask you, do you have any cigars here that people can't get anywhere else? Maybe.
We do have an exclusive cigar we worked on with Espinosa. Daniel's actually been working with Eric Espinosa for years now and coming up with a blend. It's called the Murcielago, the DK for Dark Knight. Can't say that trademark. But it's the only hand-rolled Murcielago cigar. That's 6.5 by 58. That's only offered at Smoke on the Water here in Weston, also in our sister store in New Orleans. We have a second shop in New Orleans.
Wow, his connections really do run deep.
Yeah. So, and we're working, like I said, on another one with Luzione right now. Hopefully that'll come out here pretty soon. One-off, amazing cigar. So, very similar in size actually. So, I'm excited for that to come out as well.
Nice, that's excellent. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you letting us come here and check the place out. And,
anytime.
Talking with us.
I appreciate it.
Any of you that are coming to South Florida, checking this out, whether you're from around the world or in the United States or even in Florida, you got to come here and check out Smoke on the Water. It's one of the best cigar bars in all of South Florida, hands down. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It's my pleasure.